morning. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly. How about me?
Hey, so we're here with my friend Matt, a father, a husband, a musician, a builder, a, a mechanic.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah, well, a business owner.
Yeah. Part. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. It's a lot of titles there.
a lot of titles. But I guess the most important, or what I wanted to start off with, is just what do you remember about the Sunset Strip, and what do you remember about meeting me and how that all started?
Oh, okay. That's Sunset Strip. So let's go back to when I got there. So I'm in New York, and had a couple of friends that were out there before me. Like actually only two people. So they said you gotta. I was playing in bands in New York, and it's like you gotta come out here. This is where it is. It's like you're not gonna. You need to come out here. Like I had Bobby. She's just like, dude, you're wasting your time. There, you need to come out here. So I'm just like, all right. So I packed up. I put $1,300 in my pocket, and I packed up my duffel bag, and they dropped me at. I took one-way ticket, LAX.
How old were you?
What?
How old were you when you left?
21. I was
Oh,
21.
okay.
I was 21.
What
So
year?
I think it was 88.
Oh, 88.
Yeah, it was 88. 88. So yeah, 88, like beginning of 89. Um, so Hollywood and Western, the super shuttle dropped me off at the corner there. I had no idea where I was. But I was just like super confident, and I was just like, this is what I want to do. I want to make it in music. So anyway, um, so my first, I was living in the studio with like a dog and this guy and my friend that got me out there, which I'm still friends with, by the way. He's actually he does very well. He's a they take me down there to Sunset Strip, to get to that. So,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm just like blown away. There's thousands of people down there, and there's no cell phones.
Yeah.
There's no nothing, you know, and sometimes I'm glad about that. But
Lots of flyers and lots of girls.
yeah, just more there. You can't. By the end of the night, you don't see the sidewalk. It's just papers and guys handing out flyers and just like people everywhere and bands promoting their bands, and then you hear the bands going on and. The weekend was crazy down there. I was blown away. I was just like, man, I'm so glad I came out here. It was tough, because I didn't have a car for a long time, and I had everything in New York. I had everything here. I had a job, and I was made a little bit of money, and I had a car, I had a van for my. I got rid of everything. I sold everything I could, and I just left all my family. I left everything. I was just like, this is what I want to do. It was full on commitment. So I packed up my drums. I told my dad, I was like, listen, once I'll let you know if I want you to send them once I get there. Like 2 days later, I'm like, Dad, send my drums. So that was the
Is that
beginning.
silver kit? Was it silver?
That first drums. There's an interesting story about my first drum set that I brought out there was this old Slingland drum set that I put together. You never saw it. That I put together since I was like in high school. Actually, there was pieces from like, I didn't grow up like super rich or anything, and my dad definitely did he was awesome. He was always so supportive, but he would buy me a piece at a time. I remember he worked in the city. He bought bass drums in the city, and I wanted, so I could get you one, but then he ended up getting me two because I was, it's like so, and then I would piece it together. So anyway, I had that kid out there first, and it was, it was in retrospect, it was a great set. I still have the snare drum to it, but and I ended up just selling that set to Roy Orbison's son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he came up to the studio and he was like, "Can I give you a check?" And I was like, "A check, dude? Really?" He's like, I was like, and then he handed it to me and said Roy Orbison, and I was just like, "I guess this check's good."
Yeah. Not bound.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was the Sunset Strip. It was like I just saw like an amazing opportunity out there compared to what I was. I was like in this little pond, you know. And of course, back then I wasn't humble. I was I was, I thought that I was the best drummer in the world when I went out there. I was just like,
Uh,
I was just like, fucking, and then I got out there and I was like, it's like maybe I need to work harder. So I did, so I need to work, and so I just practiced and practiced, and but then you, I saw in New York with the same friends that already ran out there. The
mm-hmm.
metal decline. I saw a decline. So I know who you were.
That came out 88. That when did that come out in 88?
It had to be something like that. It was like it was just before I moved out there,
Uh,
and I remember seeing on Headbangers Ball. I remember seeing Crying Out too. I remember seeing the video.
yeah,
So I knew of you already, who you were and stuff. So
that was MTV for people
what?
that don't know. That was MTV. Some
Yeah,
people may not
that
know
was when
that.
MTV played music, and that's all they really did. So yeah, that was great. I mean, MTV was, the people that are too young to remember
Hey,
that shit.
hey, here, I don't want to interrupt you, but I see we have people live that are watching us right now.
Oh,
So
cool.
it sucks. The people that are watching, they're all, "What's up? Hi,
Yeah.
hello, say hi." But you know what is? I don't know how to respond yet.
Oh,
So
okay.
I see
Well,
that
I
you're
think
there. I don't know
they
if
see
you
you.
can you see people in your chat,
Yeah, I
Matt?
got a KX Hi. How you doing? And
Yeah,
a King something.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
what's up?
hey,
Whoever you
thanks
guys
for
are,
watching.
thanks for
That's
coming.
cool.
Thanks for joining. We appreciate
Yeah,
it. We
yeah.
appreciate it. Um,
But I didn't mean to interrupt. I
no,
just
that's
know.
okay.
I,
That's
I'm,
a good point. That people that are here, we appreciate you.
well, yeah.
Definitely.
So keep going. Sorry for the
So
interruption.
no, it's okay. So the strip was amazing, and definitely a crazy experience for me. Compared to you, I came late to the party. You know,
Yeah.
I was late. All the the really crazy stuff, and all the bands that were well known that were getting signed out of there, like Rat and Motley Crue and whoever else. It's like, yeah, you were there for all of the beginnings, because
Oh
you're
yeah.
there. It's like I in hindsight wish I would have left a couple of years earlier, right out of high school. But
Do you remember the first show that we did as a band?
yeah, um,
Was
yes,
it
I
the
do.
Troop?
It's Troubadour, and
Yeah.
we actually did a co-headlining show with no, it wasn't a Troubadour, it was a Whiskey.
Oh, the
Yeah, we
Whiskey.
did a co-headlining show with Jimmy's Brothers Band. So we that's
Oh,
the first time. I wasn't even officially in the band yet. So um it was kind of like
so with Bernie,
it was my initiation. It was my
was it with you mean with Bernie's band with
yeah,
Flash?
yeah,
Oh, what?
yeah.
Uh,
So they went.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's that. So yeah, that was our first official show. Um, first time I played with Lost Boys was at the Whiskey, with Lash, which is weird because that was the name of my band in New York, which I
Well, yeah.
still which I still play in bands with those guys still to this day, 40 years later, and and I play in the Kiss tribute band Revenge, and I play in this band called E3 that does like anything from the 50s, 60s to now. So
Oh,
with the same, it's funny, because we've been friends forever. It's like 40 years, and
yeah. 40 years.
it's like I was just talking to my wife and my kids. I told them that your circle doesn't have to be big; it has to be quality. Make sure that
Yeah.
your friends are like, and it's like I don't have a lot of friends, that I consider, but you and a couple other, and it's just like it's worth its weight in gold compared to
Yeah.
being like super popular with everybody. So
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, that our first show was at the Whiskey with that, and after that show, we got solidified. We're just like, okay, and then we played, I guess, for a year and a half, I guess, before
Yeah.
um, it's expanded. But
Well, yeah, but the whole physical era, that 80s metal was just kind of coming to an end with the
Yeah.
Stone Temple Pilots and the Alice in Chains and the Soundgardens and the Nirvana.
Yeah, the whole grunge scene. I mean, it was
Do you,
turning. It was turning right in front of our eyes. We were just like, I remember you coming into rehearsal and actually talking about it. I don't know if you remember that at all.
I do. I remember saying I wanted to change the name because
I
we
know,
were.
and it's just like it's funny. It's funny you bring that up because at the time, I was so like stoked to be in Lost Boys. I was just like, I don't even know if you remember this, but like you guys had these jackets with the hearts on the
Yeah.
back and the dagger, and it's like I wanted that so badly. I was just like, I found one from some like a crew member, and I had the
We,
name change. I had the name change. I don't have it anymore, unfortunately.
that was Dave.
But-
Remember Dave, Jimmy's roadie, Dave, or something.
right. Okay.
Remember he? That?
Yeah.
You
So
remember?
I definitely regret getting rid of that, but
I still have.
I was just like, but that in hindsight, what our lineup was a different band. It was a different vibe and a different
Well, yeah.
band, and in hindsight, I totally understand why you wanted to change the name now.
Well, yeah, and CBS was very interested. I don't. You. Who was the guy who kept coming to our rehearsals? Remember that
Ron
guy?
Oberman
Well, it was. It was.
and
It could have
Benji.
been him or yeah, Benji. So that guy kept coming and he wanted us to go demo stuff. And I was just like, I knew it was the end of that era, but it was like if we changed our name, I thought whatever we had to do, like kind of rebrand ourselves.
Yeah,
But people didn't want to do it. And I was like, you know what? This is it for me, pretty
yeah.
much.
I was. Yeah, I was really disappointed in that, but
Yeah.
now years later, I totally get it, and it's funny because right after that, I ended up saying, you know what, I'm going to go back to New York now for a little while and regroup. So
Yeah.
I ended up driving cross country.
With your MG?
What?
Was it the MG that you had?
No, I had a Triumph, but I
Oh,
had a
the
pick.
Giant.
I actually had a pickup truck that
Oh,
I had a little Chevy that I loaded up with my drums and my motorcycle, and I drove cross country in about 4 days, and I landed in New York, and and at that point, that whole situation turned me into like I'm gonna learn everything now. I'm not gonna just play drums. I'm gonna learn how to play guitar. I'm gonna learn how to sing. I'm gonna learn how to play bass. I'm gonna learn how to write music. I'm gonna learn how to do all this. That way, I have control over what I'm doing musically, and
yeah,
I'm gonna cut a record, and I did, and I did.
yeah.
And I cut like not was signed or anything, but I cut an independent CD, and it came out really good, and it pushed me to learn other instruments, and now it just makes me a better drummer on top of it. But
Well,
um,
yeah, you've had a lot of success with all your placements and all your tracks for a lot of TV shows and
yes, and
that too. So talk about that a little bit.
well, that's Jerry, who like I distinctly remember him helping us out, in
Yeah,
Las Vegas. He's a great guy, and
still is,
what?
still does today.
Yeah,
You know,
he's an amazing guy, and
that's Jerry Dixon,
yeah,
which
Jerry Dixon,
bass player.
Warrant, and he has Down Boys records, and he started it. And when he started, I was one of the first artists to get signed with him, and he actually in the beginning he was just doing releases. He wasn't doing any placements yet, and so I released through him two different things. One was just a 2-song EP, and then the other thing was like a 5-song EP,
Mm,
and that was just under my name. And then he came to me and he said, I'm going to start doing TV and film placements, and then he started shooting out these emails. We're looking for this show. We're looking for this show. And it was freaking, I was just like, this is a dream come true for me. I was just like, I can't wait to try to do this. Right.
yeah,
So, and I learned so much doing that too. I mean, just because you learn to be like, okay, now it's not about like, oh, I'm going to be in this my CD, and I'm like, the star of this whole thing is about me and whatever. And it's like now it's just like, listen, you're supporting something. You're not
yeah,
you're part of something greater than yourself, and you're just like it gets so much satisfaction to like me and my wife would be watching a show, and then all of a sudden, because we never knew when it was going to get placed, we were
yeah,
watching the show, and it's like, holy shit, that's you. And it's like, yeah, that's me. It's like, holy crap. And I'd be like, this is insane. And I remember Jerry called me the first time from Duck Dynasty, the production. You know, they were working on the production, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Dude, I heard you. You're on." I'm just like, I was so psyched. I was like, "Fuck, this is great." And I told it changed. That was like 2012 around there that he started doing that,
Yeah.
and that was I still like maybe a month ago I got a royalty statement. I had no idea some show on Netflix, and it's something that I wrote like freaking 10 years ago
Oh,
off the
nice.
cuff, and it's like it's in the background on this freaking drama TV show, and because I found it, I was like, oh, it's great. I get such a kick out of it. You know, it's just I love doing placements. It's just a lot of fun to try to make that work. You know, so
Well, yeah, because not only are you a musician and a composer, but you're also mixing and producing and mastering your stuff, which I've heard all sounds really well. So
thank
you
you.
got that as well too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's just a lot of trial and error, a lot of just doing it, hours of doing it, and
Yeah.
it's I just like yourself. I love to create something from nothing. So
Yeah.
and just see how it flies. But I mean, I
Well,
love
yeah,
doing. I could do it all day. So
you just get the
anyway, so
desired.
there's a lot of I wanted to try to get back a little bit to the memories of like
Well, yeah,
me,
I,
me,
sure.
me and you, me and
Yeah.
you. I remember. I don't know if you like. I had back then. Like I was. When I met you, I was just like. I looked up. And I was just like, wow, this guy is where I want to be. This is what I want. And then we had like a lunch together, just me and you. I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
this, but we had a lunch together, and we talked about what our goals were, with music and with Lost Boys in the band. And I was just like, and you were like, yeah, yeah. All we did was like look at you, yeah, yeah. And we were just like, there wasn't anything that we didn't agree on. We were just like, this
Yeah.
is what we want, And I was like, this is it. And I got some other opportunities to try out for some other bands during Lost Boys, and I was just like, no, this is I want this. I'm with where I want to be right now. This is where I want to be, and I don't regret it. But I
So
just
did
like,
you? So did you know? So let's go back. So did you meet Jimmy first, or how did so
okay,
it was Jimmy and Bobby in?
this is the way. Well, we have to back up a little bit. It's like
Yeah.
Bobby, one of my my really good friend that I was rooming with, the guitar player,
Yeah.
that you guys that he got into Lost Boys first, obviously, and you guys were looking for drummers, and you had a certain kind of fit that you were looking for.
Yeah.
And I remember that there was this other guy that lived across my apartment that you guys were working with a little bit, and you were trying guys out here and there. And then I met Jimmy, and Jimmy came over to the apartment one day, and I was like really cocky. I remember it. I was just like, I was just like, I looked at Jimmy. I go, when you guys are done messing around, give me a call. I was just like, yeah, when you guys are done messing around with all these guys, give me a call. I know the music already. And I did, but not the way I should have known it. But I didn't know it to get through it. And I was just like, so I was playing with this other band, and then Bobby called me, and he's just like, come on down, dude. We need you to come down. And I was like, all right. And it's like, and I came down, and then then I learned about what you guys vibe was and what the fit was, because I was really progressive at the time.
Well, I was gonna say that because I remember like your first audition, you were a good player, but it was just very progressive.
Yeah,
And I
I
was
was into
like, oh,
Neil Peart, Terry Bozzio. I was just like all into all this technical stuff,
boy.
and then I remember after that rehearsal, I was just like, okay, I approaching this a little bit. I need to approach this differently. So I put the headphones on and the tape. Yes, it was a cassette. Um, it was a cassette,
Money beat.
and I remember listening to Rankel.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, I remember listening to Rankel, and that's like a slower kind of
Mm-hmm.
really groove. Like this, it's just a slower
Better
groove. Yeah, like a groove.
pot of gold.
Yeah, great song. And
That is a
and I just like, and I got as soon as I listened to that song, I got it. I was just like, all right, I get what's going on here. This
yeah.
I get the vibe. I was like, and then I listened to the rest of the songs. Like, I know what's got to get done here. And then I remember the next rehearsal, you were just like, all right, that's it, we're good. So
Yeah. We had the second audition, it was like perfect. It was like a different drummer.
Yeah. It was a great lesson for me because I was just like, I was like, I got to make this work, and I'm not getting this. I was just like, I'm there's something going on here that I'm just not getting. And then I listened, and it made me, if after that, we didn't play anymore, and then I went to other bands. I remember that I approached every audition that I had. I approached the same way as I approached, that, and it was never a problem. And it's like I auditioned for like Matt Starr's band. He had this band called the Flames, and that was automatic. I was in the first day, and then I auditioned for Jeff's band. It was actually called
Heard of Faye?
Human Nature before
Have you?
DC4, and that I flew cross country for that one, and that was like, okay, when you're moving out here. So it's something that was a great lesson for me as far as us, like, okay, what does this band need from me,
Yeah.
and so that was a
The,
good.
the one thing that people, that are watching or they're gonna watch this because it, will be reposted, is that what people don't think when they think of like 80s metal bands, they think of like, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But I think like with Lost Boys, and many bands, it was the complete opposite. Like we were all into working out. We all had a plan. We all were striving to just be the best that we could be. It was,
Yeah,
you know, uh, it was very professional, and you had very high expectations of where you were going to go and believe you were going to conquer the world, really.
yeah,
So it's like that's a part that
yeah, because
people don't realize, like you
that's
were.
one of the things I really liked about the band, is that it was kind of like it had a lot of the qualities that I wasn't out there for the partying, and I wasn't out there for the Sunset Strip and all the girls or whatever. I was out there because I want to make it in music, and that's what I want. I want this to be what I do for the rest of my life. And you guys are just like, you were already pretty much a family man when I met you. You know,
We
yeah, you're pretty close. I mean,
Yeah.
Hannah came pretty quickly after that I met you,
Well,
and
yeah.
then um, you know, Jimmy was a personal trainer, you
Well,
know,
yeah.
and he used to just be like, we're going to the gym, and then Bobby was
Every
going,
day.
it's just like it was all about, taking care of ourselves. It's kind of, you're right. It was like totally the opposite of what a lot of bands were doing out there. We had a distinct goal in mind.
Yeah. It was. We definitely had. It was like a brotherhood.
Yes, it
You know,
was like, for
and
sure, for sure. I missed the hell out of Jimmy. We had a lot of great times, me and
well, I
him.
was. He kept us. Kept us all together. He
Yeah,
was.
he used to call me up and be like, he'd be like, well, let's go out on the motorcycle down to Venice Beach and get a churro, or let's, can you pick me up in the Triumph? He used to always, like, I had that little convertible. He's like, hey, can you pick me up in the Triumph, and we go do this, that. It's like he he knew that drums and bass were,
Yeah.
like, it's like it was an important kind of thing, and so, like, for us to get along, and he was really easy to get along with anyway. So,
Well, yeah.
so it's just like we used
Most
to
important
hang
part.
out.
What?
We used
It's
to
the
hang
most
out a lot.
part of the band are the drums and the bass.
Right.
Without a groove, it's nothing. Everything is based on that, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Yep. And in the future, he always, like, I went back and forth between New York and California a couple of times, and besides you, if he heard that I was back, he was like one of the first people out my door. He was like with his Volkswagen. He'd be like, "Hey, what's going on? What are you doing? Let's." So I missed the hell out of the guy. I mean, when Phil Lewis played with Phil Lewis, L.A. Guns, for a little while.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, really?
Phil Lewis had a side project. I forgot what the name of it was.
Know that?
Yeah, Phil Lewis he had a side project, and I forgot someone. I don't really remember, but I remember they were looking for a drummer, and it's just like I didn't know a lot of LA Guns again, and he called me down to audition for that. And then I don't know what happened with that, but he went
What?
on the road. He went on the road with them for a little while.
So did you know? Did you ever meet Lita when he was dating Lita Ford?
Yes, I went.
Yeah.
I actually went to one of the video shoots that he was in.
Oh,
And that, yeah, okay. He's like, hey, we're going. That's Jimmy though. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing a video today. You got to come. So
uh,
I went to the video shoot with him. And there's 2 Lita Ford stories I remember. One was with me and you went up there. Me and you went to Lita's house once.
yeah, and Sunland or Tonga.
I think it was Sunland.
Yeah,
It was up. It
yeah,
was
up
like
in the
yeah, it was
yeah.
up. I remember we were in my Triumph. Yeah, I remember we went up and we were all going. This is when we were writing. We were still trying to write for CBS. So
Oh,
and then we were working with this other guy that Lita knew, and we went to go meet him at his house and see if we could collaborate. So that's a memory I have with you. I remember you being in my car. I'm like, oh, it's freaking cold, man, because the top is down. It was at night. Um, but that was a good. And then the Lita Ford video shoot, I forgot, was great because I got to meet Myron Grombacher, who because he was Pat Benatar. What?
Who's that? Was he a
Myron
score?
Grombacher. He's a drummer. He was drumming for Lita, and he's more well known for being the drummer for Pat Benatar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I met him, and then he was like, you know, he was a really nice guy. He's hooking me up with sticks and heads and all stuff like that. Yeah, he was a really nice guy. So yeah, I remember meeting Lita a couple of times, and I remember when he was dating her, and that was pretty crazy.
So remind me something of the past about Lost Boys or me or something I may have
All right,
forgotten.
this one
I
show that there was one show that sticks out, that we did at FM station. I don't,
I
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't ever remember
we did
playing
a
that.
we did a show at FM station with Jeff Pilson's band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and and I remember. Listen, I grew up listening to Dokken. I love Dokken, and it's like
Well, yeah.
I actually played in a Dokken tribute band for a little while. So I remember we headlined. So
Okay.
yeah, so we're headlining. We headlined that night at FM station, and I remember Jeff. Like here's somebody that like I was like at one point I had like the cassettes and I was playing Doc and I'm like listening to this guy's band and it's like and now he pops his head in the our dressing room and he's just like it's like man it's your crowd tonight and I was like
Oh,
holy yeah that's like he was really nice I remember
well,
that
yeah. He's a nice guy.
yeah, so I just remember, and I was just like, "Wow!" I was like, "That's what a turnaround." Here's somebody I used to look up to, and now he's turning around and telling us that it's our crowd,
Uh,
and it was pretty cool. That was a good show.
so,
We did a bunch of Gazzari shows, but one thing I remember about you were this like, I never had to worry about, it's like when you're in a band and you're worried about like maybe a guy or this and that. And Lost was especially you're like that was your baby, and then you were the leader.
yeah,
And I never had to worry about anything except for my job.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like we always had it all together. The show was always all together. The set list was always predetermined. It was always there. It's just like all I had to do is show up and do my job, and we never had a bad show. And
No.
and people used to always talk to me, and like the roadies and Phil,
Yeah, Phil. God
Phil.
bless.
Oh yeah, another one.
Well, the thing about it is that because of the preparation that we put into it, it didn't just accidentally happen. I mean,
Absolutely not.
so much work into it. Like you were talking about bass and drums, you guys would have bass and drum practice. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Rhythm practice.
Yeah.
I mean, we would go and we would practice as if we're playing a show.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. We
getting
would
to,
run to the show.
every time. If it wasn't like that, might as well not even show up. I mean, that was our
Exactly.
quality. So that when the show came, it was nothing. You just got up there and it was just what you did.
Yeah, it was
So
always, and that's a very comfortable place to be. Playing in a band, and it's just like there's like nothing really on it. You know what to expect, and you can just give your best performance. Do you remember when we did the showcase at Joe's Garage at Zappa's place?
nope. Tell me about it. That's what's. I mean, I sorry, but I don't.
Okay,
Horrible.
we
There's
yeah. So Benji Benji set up the showcase for us to I no, not Benji. I think maybe Vicky actually. I know somebody that you knew set up a showcase for labels to come down and check us out. It was just
probably
so I remember like there's like 3 or 4 different labels that come, and that was like high pressure. I remember it's just like all right, we're going into Joe's Garage. We're gonna set up. They're gonna bring in CBS is showing up, and Elektra is showing up. There's like a couple of labels that are showing up, and it's like we're gonna do like 3 songs, and if they want more, then we'll continue and whatever else. So I remember, we set up and everything, and we were like really well rehearsed for that, and we played through it, and then I remember in the middle of a song, this guy came bopping through the door, and he's just like, you know, I know, and I was like, I could see everything from where I'm at, and it was Ron Oberman. It was a guy.
Oh,
It was a guy from like VP of CBS. And
yeah.
I remember the next day, like, just like, yeah, man, they want to record our demos, they want to record our stuff, they want to do that, they want to go forward and keep on and see, it's kind of like a development deal, you
Well,
know,
yeah.
that's what they wanted to do. But that was like wild for me. Just like, wow, freaking
Yeah.
Frank Zappa's studio, and we're gonna do a showcase for record labels. I was just like, this is it. This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
So it was a great experience. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
But we did quite a few shows over the years. We Gazzari's when it was still Gazzari's, the Troubadour. We did a bunch of shows there.
What are some of the bands that you saw, like some of the bigger bands that you saw in Hollywood when you were there? Do you remember? Did you see
You know what?
ever? Did you see?
I didn't really see. Unfortunately, I came late to the party, so
Uh,
I didn't really see like the like I was saying, like the biggest LA bands that like Motley Crue and Rat and all these, Doc and all these bands that like
already.
I was at the end of it. Even Poison was already out.
Yeah.
It's like, so it was like it was the end of the cycle, and like bands like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, if there's anybody that was. I remember maybe seeing. I started seeing like the bands that became known as grunge, but they were playing there. So
Yeah.
like I saw Alice in Chains, in a small club. I saw Stone Temple Pilots when they were called like Mighty Joe Young or something like that. Um, Smashing Pumpkins. I saw on Sunset, not on the Strip, but like another club that wasn't too far away.
Yeah.
Um, so I got to see like the Seattle. I don't know if a lot of people noticed enough, but it's like a lot of the Seattle bands, they came down to LA to play.
Yeah.
It was still known as a place to be, but they were still in flux coming down.
Well, some of them were glam bands, that switched over.
Right? They made the switch. I guess that's, in hindsight, that's probably what you were trying to get to, like not to sound grunge, but maybe
Hmm.
to develop into something else and
Yeah.
kind of
I mean,
try
Bob
to.
fit that mold. He would have been a perfect guitar player for that style. I think.
Yeah,
Tuning down and my voice would have been perfect for it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Well, I
but
mean, some of the stuff that we did, like years ago, that I sent you,
hmm
that like has a grunge flavor to it, and it sounded great. It's
yeah,
great. So it was like tuned down or whatever. But Jeff, I have to give Jeff Duncan credit for the guitar playing for that. I was like, Jeff, how do I sound heavy? He goes, give me your guitar. He takes my guitar, takes the E string, and goes, boom, and goes, stay there.
yeah,
He tuned me down.
yeah.
Sure. But what else do we, as far as music goes, there's one other thing that I'm not sure if you remember or not, but I was living in Eagle Rock,
Uh huh.
and we had like a little, we had like a little garage studio there at the time, and this was after everything. This is like 92, 93.
Oh
and,
yeah,
and you found me. Like I remember you say, "Hey, always back." I remember you say, "I got to go see." Like, "I want to come see you." Like, and you found me, and then we tried to put like, this is when Warrant wasn't together anymore, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but in the garage
yeah.
with you, myself, Jeff Duncan, Eric, and Jerry. That we did like 1 or 2 rehearsals like that.
Well, yeah. And that who's was that at your house or whose house was that? Eric's house.
No, that was at my house.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
but
no, that was at Eric's house. I was renting a room from him at that time.
Eric. So I remember you, me, Jeff, and Jerry.
Jerry and Eric.
Oh, Eric.
Eric from
Oh,
Warren too.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, he was there too.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yep. So it was a 5 piece.
And what did we practice or what did we play?
Original. We were writing. We had like 2 or 3
Oh, okay.
songs. It was heavy, dude. That's why it sparked the memory, because it was heavy. It was real heavy, and it was tuned down, and it was like I remember like Fight was out,
Oh yeah,
Rob Halford and all
yeah,
that. Like it was going back to metal, and you were singing like real like this high stuff, and it was and then Jerry. It was a really wild mix because Jerry would come in and be like, "Well, let's do this here," and it was like it would make it like not commercialize it, but it would be like it would hook. It would be, he would like throw the hook in there. Like he's like, we
yeah,
need like it's this sounds great, but we need to do this, and that'd be the hook. So
yeah.
that was. But I remember that my Eric my bro my roommate his how he came in, he goes, how'd you guys get that all those guys in there? I go, that's quite a lineup in there. And I was like, yeah, it was kind of like almost like a super group, but
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Well, that's what everybody was kind of soul searching then, because
yeah,
Lawrence was kind of dead at that point. I mean,
yeah,
now they're out playing, and the '80s thing seems to be happening, and people are coming and seeing them, and you know,
right,
you there?
yeah,
You
yeah. I'm
uh,
losing signal down here, but yeah, there's a lot of I have a lot of different kind of memories of things back there. But you're right, that was a very transitional time in
yeah,
the early '90s, where into mid '90s, where people just that were involved in the '80s, where it's kind of trying to figure out where they fit in and what they do. Now it's nostalgia,
yeah,
Now it's nostalgia, and it's like it just shows you that how strong that time period really was. That it's still 35 years, 40 years later, that everybody, even we our age group is still like, yeah, that's great, and then but even the kids are still like, that's great. There's like so
well,
it's
yeah. I
says
mean,
something.
even Odin's gonna play. You know,
Odin's
40
great.
years later, they're paying us to play.
Yeah, it's awesome,
Like, people are into it
of
still.
course,
You know, maybe not
because
like us,
if,
but they're
if
still into it.
if it's good, it's good. You know,
Yeah.
that's the way I go look at it. But that's
So
pretty much it.
what's happening now with your music? What are you doing now?
Oof. Besides the Kiss tribute band and E3, like Revenge and E3, E3's got couple of gigs lined up, and Revenge has a festival in June that we're playing. We only
And those
play it once.
are
As
both
far
Kiss
as my
bands?
what's that?
Are they both Kiss tribute bands?
No, one Revenge is is Kiss tribute band, full
Okay.
makeup, the whole thing. E3 is a band that can do basically any kind of music from country to
Oh, okay.
country to grunge. It's just like
Oh,
whatever. Like when I first joined, they gave me like 80 songs to learn in like a month and a half.
oh,
So
real.
they've been around for a long time. And the bass player from Revenge, my good friend Rich, he's asked me to to play and to join in, and so I did. And it's great because again, pushing out of the comfort zone. You know,
Yeah,
it's like, all right, I got to learn this. A lot of vocal stuff too, which is
yeah,
great for me because the more I practice, the better I get, as you know. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I have probably over an album's worth of original stuff that I need to finish. I just moved. As you know, I'm in the middle of adopting kids,
Yeah.
so just and running a business. So I still need to set up my studio and finish that. I'm hoping to do that soon. I'm hoping to get out to you and help
Well,
you with your studio, and
yeah.
that'd be great. Um,
Well, you need to start a YouTube channel. You do.
yeah,
Especially
cra-
with all your restorations, like just your motorcycle stuff alone.
that's fun. That's
And
therapy. I love
well, yeah,
resurrecting motorcycles. It's fun.
so many people that want to see stuff like that, especially
Yeah.
with your shop. I mean, you got a YouTube channel just at your shop alone.
Oh my God, yeah, it's beyond repair.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a crazy situation over there too. But just like everybody else in the country that owns their own business right now, it's not easy. It's not easy.
No,
But,
well, probably
but
where New
so
York.
um, New York is crazy. There's a lot of regulations and a lot of things here that you
Is
gotta.
it worse than California?
Well, I never had a business in California, but I'm gonna say it's probably pretty close. In a different way. In a different way. But you know, just do the best you can. That's it. Hopefully things turn around. So
All right.
um, that's pretty much it.
Well, I figure we got a good 40 minutes here,
Yeah, perfect.
and then I want, because I want to like maybe do this once a month or something,
Okay, that's cool.
have a
Sounds
chat,
good.
and
Of
but I
course, brother.
appreciate you taking your time today
Of
and
course.
talking to me, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
And,
a bunch of stuff I forgot, but we'll get go. We could do that
and
next time.
what about Fart Boy, dude?
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
You believe that?
Let it go, man. Let it
Let it
go.
go.
Go,
Go to
go, go. Go,
a
go, go.
dollar.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
Can
Oh,
you?
dude, please, from your lips to the universe's ears, please.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. From
Yep.
understanding, it's already what, 11, 12 cents.
That's awesome.
All
Yep.
right.
All right, brother.
Okay.
Great
Well,
seeing you again.
let's.
And we'll talk soon, man.
Yeah, I love you, man.
Love you too, dude.
I'll post this soon.
You got it. Thanks,
Okay.
dude. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.